Hi, welcome to this week's edition of the Chamber Buzz. Today our special guests are Keith Davis. Keith helps with SCORE, and Kelly Joyner Lee of Reach Out Rocky Mountain. And I'm David. The Chamber Buzz is proudly brought to you by Roger G. Taylor and Associates, and here's what's happening around Rocky Mount.
Good afternoon, I'm David Combs, and it's a Monday afternoon in Rocky Mount, and we're at Applebee's here in Rocky Mount. They opened here in 1989, I think, and I'm here with Richard Warner, the manager here today. They've completely renovated the restaurant, redecorated it, so they're having a grand opening, and in addition to that, they're celebrating it by doing a fundraiser for the American Red Cross. So I want to thank Richard and his staff also for tonight opening up the restaurant and raising the money for the Red Cross. So thank you, Richard, and congratulations on the length of time you've been here, and your restaurant looks great.
We appreciate it, and we'd really like to thank the Red Cross for partnering with us today and all the help they've given us getting prepared. I'd like to thank the Chamber for coming out. Rocky Mount's a wonderful town. I've been here about 6 months. I've really enjoyed my time. I'm looking forward to staying for a long time. Of course, we want to thank the Mayor, David, for coming out and helping us out today. We're looking forward to a good turnout. It looks like we've already started out pretty well.
I think you have. Liz,
we're going to raise some money.
I'm going to let you say a few words.
Well, I'd like to echo what the mayor said about being here since 1989. I think Linwood Robertson, I know where Linwood is. Linwood over there, the director of the American Red Cross, he and I graduated the year the Applebee's SCORE opened, so it's nice to have you here for that long, and again to echo what...
Welcome back, and again our special guest today we're pleased to have with us Keith Davis, who is a retired person who's gotten really busy, and Keith, one of his main signature events is SCORE, and Kelly Joyner Lee. Kelly is big with Reach Out Rocky Mount, among other items that we'll discuss, but we want to welcome you, and again, my name is David Ferris. And welcome to this week's edition of The Buzz. We're glad to have you. Kelly, ladies first, no offense, Keith. Tell us a little about yourself. How did you end up with Reach Out Rocky Mount? What are some of the other
initiatives?
Initiatives and areas
one
of
of my many hats that I wear.
We'll put on a few of those hats.
Well, I work for the North Carolina Community Foundation, and I've been there for a little over 6 years. About 5 years ago, we were approached by this group of Rocky Mount citizens about forming Reach Out Rocky Mount, which of course facilitates the Fun Run for Charities, which I'm sure most everyone watching this has heard of.
Successful. Y'all just knocked the ball out of the park.
It is a wonderful, wonderful event, a great group of citizens that put that on, wonderful group of nonprofits, volunteers, and of course our many generous donors that support that every year. Last year's event, our 4th year, raised over $500,000 within a 6-week giving period. So it's just really huge. We had 68 nonprofit partners last year. It really has been a game changer for several of our nonprofits in the community, and we're just very proud as the Community Foundation to be a partner with that. We actually handle the behind-the-scenes work with processing the donations, actually writing the checks for the organizations, doing the due diligence paperwork afterwards, making sure the grant funds were used for their intended purpose. So we do all of that, not fun and exciting part behind the scenes, but we do get to be a part of the big picture.
Referred to as the grunt work.
The grunt work, absolutely. But in addition to Fun Run for Charities and Reach Out Rocky Mount, we actually have a local affiliate here. The Future Malden Community Foundation for Greater Rocky Mount is our local affiliate, and we also have the Edgecombe Charitable Foundation. So Rocky Mount, our nonprofits here are very lucky that they have those two organizations that support some of their work through grant making. We also have the Women Givers of Nash Rocky Mount that is here, and just lots of really good initiatives, some donor-advised funds, agency funds, scholarship funds in the area.
We'll come back to that in a second, talk
Absolutely.
about how you get involved. Keith, tell us a little about yourself. We were talking before we went on the air, and Keith had an amazing business model before he retired. And he has used, I think, his skills. I was looking through some notes. He doesn't do much in his retirement. He's been involved with the Chamber of Commerce, which I found out just a few moments ago that your dad had been involved here, which is wonderful.
Yes, that's true.
He's helps in the Nash Senior Citizen in Nashville, Rocky Mount Senior Center, Advisory Board of Nash Educating Boys and Girls in Nashville, of course SCORE, which is huge and so important. He has participated and chaired numerous committees since he retired. How did you end up back in Rocky Mount?
Well, born and raised up north, so to speak, because that's where my parents dropped me. I had a good career up there. Lots of challenges, which means lots of things to overcome. Coming down here in the middle 2000s, I was over 65. I was eligible to go to any community college for free, so I took part at Nash Community College and learned a lot about computers. Good thing I learned how to type in high school, which was way back when. I ran into someone while working with the Chamber who was going to start SCORE and wanted to know if I've heard of SCORE. And I told him, yes, I heard of it in New York City. So the Raleigh chapter is the ones that are responsible for helping the Rocky Mount chapter get started. So they gave us brochures and the way to do it and all of the wherewithal. And Mark Froman was the first chairman who did basically the paperwork. I started studying, you know, you do business and you just do it. But then to teach to someone else, you have to sit down and concentrate. What did I do? Why did I do that? What could I have done different or better? So you start to analyze everything you've done, and then when you speak to someone, you actually give them step by step how they could walk along the path that they have in their head and maybe make a success out of it. So that was interesting, but not enough. So therefore I started taking courses at Duke, which was a nonprofit. And I thought nonprofit was something superficial. It is so in-depth. I mean, 501c3s and all of its applications and paperwork. I took a course among my many courses with the IRS in Wilmington when they first started this. When the 990s changed, they started putting classes out. One of the first ones was in Wilmington, North Carolina in 2010. I took it. I met the attorney who actually got it started down here, and he's contacted me for our session that we're supposed to hold in the latter part of September. So I just find it interesting, detailed, and keeps me sharp.
Well, I'm amazed at what both of you are able to do and do and accomplish. It's a lot in this day and time for most people to have either just a single career or a single area of responsibility. Right. And Kelly, in your profession, you've got a whole host of things. And then Keith, you don't just volunteer for SCORE. You've learned it, and you've expanded your horizon as one thing has led to another. And that's just, I think that's remarkable. You are two tremendous assets for this region. And
well,
I don't mind
I
telling
see
you that.
There's a lot of need here, and people are willing to learn. So that's a great combination if you have something to share.
Well, it is.
Coming out of the library today, I met someone who's teaching at one of the churches, young men on starting business. And he approached me. He said he'll come by and see me. I'll give him brochures. I'll go out and talk to them and give them part of the information that we get directly from SCORE and the affiliates.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that and what SCORE does. We're going to talk a little bit more about community involvement and all the wonderful things that we have going on here in Rocky Mount and what they mean to us.
We are the past,
Present,
and the future leadership of your Chamber of Commerce.
We are business members focusing on new beginnings, boldly creating our Twin Counties future.
Members working toward broader thinking, community reinvestment, and public policy supporting strong business.
We are partnerships that create new beginnings.
We are business and community leaders working together for a better tomorrow.
And this is my town.
Keith, we were talking about SCORE, and I'm a small business person, and I'm overwhelmed with regulations, IRS, filling out forms, starting a business, keeping it going, whatever. Who do I approach? How do I approach? What does SCORE do for me?
Well, they would call and set up an appointment. We would have face-to-face. That's not the only way to counsel or mentor part of the clientele that come in. We also have 13,000 mentors online nationwide.
Wow.
And SCORE.org is a beautiful website with all sorts of information on it, all free, including some of the mentors that I mentioned that are available to you. But in the case down here, if someone were to call or come into the office and tell me what their problems are, we sit down and we try to hash through them. In the case of a nonprofit overwhelmed with paperwork, a lot of times I ask if they have services of a professional. A CPA is key. And I don't mean somebody that just has QuickBooks. You have to have the professional that can help guide you through what you have to do to keep the appropriate paperwork. The IRS is coming down to North Carolina September 25th and 26th from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And people who attend the workshop will get a whole host of take-home literature, actual booklets that teach you step by step the things you have to do if you have the time to take it. You could assign somebody to read some of that literature while you still do your nonprofit fundraising or public relations work, whatever your duties are. But now you have actual literature that comes from the IRS that you can bank on to actually make the paperwork better than it was before, with a better understanding. Also, when you're able to talk to your accountant or CPA or professional services, you now have a better understanding. So the questions you two will be interacting would be less expensive, less time if you're paying by the hour or something. So the more you know about your own business and your own responsibilities of your organization, and some of the things boards are supposed to provide and do, some of the things staff and volunteers, things you should have programs for, even volunteers. You should have a volunteer program so that people come into your organization and understand why they are being valued.
Where and when will this be held?
The workshop will be held at the Gateway Technology Center right here in Rocky Mount.
On the Wesleyan campus.
Thanks to
Yes.
Marilyn Anselmi, who helped us work with the NC State and ECU Collaborative, along with the Rocky Mount Chamber. Nash Community College also gave us cards that we did and were able to mail out to a lot of religious organizations. So there's a whole group of people that actually are pulling us off, and we're reaching out to everyone we can and have. If I talk about governors and county managers and town managers, as well as organizations like the North Carolina Community Foundation, right, which is statewide.
Yes.
And thanks to Ms. Lee, she helped to get the word across the state of North Carolina. And because this information is federal, anybody from anywhere in the country can fly in, spend $33, get this course, get a lunch, also meet other people like themselves. They could exchange problems and concerns that they all have within their organizations. You might even find job switching. No, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, Kelly, let's shift over on nonprofits.
Sure.
I think the big signature event in this area, obviously, is one of our newest, which is the Fun Run.
Sure.
And of course, you have the Malden Futural Foundation. How important are foundations like that in events like the Fun Run for a community like Rocky Mount?
I think in areas like this, and the North Carolina Community Foundation, of course, is a statewide community foundation, and it was pretty much formed to give the benefits of a community foundation to more rural areas that don't have, you know, the big foundations there to assist them. We help with organizing, you know, things like the Fun Run to really facilitate a community spirit, giving back to the nonprofits. We like to work with the nonprofits in things like this. There's nothing that's worse than going through a vetting process during a grant season and you've got a great nonprofit that has fallen out of compliance, and foundations can't give money to organizations that don't keep up these compliance
And I don't
regulations.
think people realize that.
I don't think they do either. And unfortunately, with the way things have been, a lot of these nonprofits have cut staff. Someone who may have handled this type of thing before is not the person who's handling it now, and things fall by the wayside. And it is very expensive and very time consuming to get that status reissued if you do fall out of compliance. So we're urging all of our nonprofits that either participate in Fun Run or apply for grants through our various funds to come to the workshop and make sure that they've got everything they need, those skills to make sure they stay in compliance. Foundations are so important because they not only have that local board who knows the issues in the community, it gives you just a presence in the community to be aware of the different issues. We participated in the Twin County visioning process that was going on here. We will continue to follow through with that once we get to the action items. We've even talked about possibly doing some targeted grant making, you know, based on the outcome of those issues. They're just really a group that has their thumb on the pulse of the community and can react through grant making or different organizations that can, you know, help bring people together around different issues.
Well, we've got just a little time left and sort of in wrapping up and closing up. Keith, what?
Well, the
final
IRS sort of insisted to get them to come down, we'd have to go through educational institutions. So my thinking was, well, if you sit back and think of that, maybe the educational institutions will start to adopt these types of techniques and methods for teaching nonprofits and maybe donate it to us nonprofits who need the assistance the most.
Kelly, in wrap up, any final thoughts?
Well, we're just excited about the year that's coming up, not only participating with SCORE and the other organizations in this IRS workshop. We're already planning for our 5th year Fun Run, and also the Futural Malden Community Foundation will be hosting our fabulous Tar River Wine Festival again next year.
That's
so
been really successful.
It is a great event.
Usually a great evening, and weather's been
absolutely.
Typically it's been wonderful.
Last year we did have a little scare with some tornado warnings, but I think that was our year that we were going to you know, take that as our bad year. We're going to have crystal clear weather this year, and we still had a great time. So it's a beautiful evening. It raises a lot of money for,
you know, there are a lot of good things going on in the Twin County area all the time. They really are.
Absolutely.
People need to
and you can find those on the Reach Out Rocky Mount community calendar.
And what is that website that you can get to?
You can get to it a variety of ways. You can go to funrunrm.org, and it has a link where you can click on the community calendar, or you can go to reachoutrockymount.org.
That's great.
May I leave a phone number for SCORE?
You absolutely can, Keith.
Those who need some assistance from SCORE, we're on the 2nd floor of the Braswell Memorial Library, located in downtown Rocky Mount. And the phone number, of course, is area code 252-442-1173. And I'll most likely, at least for the rest of this month, pick up the phone. I have to be there every day just to field all the questions that are coming in about this workshop that we're having. and we definitely want to please the IRS so that they'll come on back.
We always want to
help
please the
us.
IRS. One way or the other. This may be the true case when they come, you know, the little joke, I'm with the IRS and I'm here to help you. This may actually be the case. But Kelly, Keith, I want to thank both of y'all for coming. It's obvious you have a passion for what you do, your profession, and you're happy with it, and the end result is wonderful work, and I think it helps make our community even better.
Thank you so
Thank y'all
much.
both for joining us tonight.
We are the past.
Present.
and the future leadership of your Chamber of Commerce.
We are business members focusing on new beginnings, boldly creating our Twin Counties future.
Members working toward broader thinking, community reinvestment, and public policy supporting strong business.
We are partnerships that create new beginnings.
We are business and community leaders working together for a better tomorrow.
And this is my time.